Call to order council regular meeting Monday, July 9th, 2018, 6 p.m. Paintsville Recreation Center. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Sean, Tim, David,
Here.
Sarah,
Here.
Bo.
Here. Chief, could you lead us in the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've got just a couple of announcements. The night the storm hit, I was so pleased to see how quick and how efficient we all came together. And that's proof of what it means when we work together. And there's a lot of people that need to be thanked. Gary McClure, EMS, Mr. Pack, Utilities, Judge Daniel, Police, Fire. Everybody was there pitching in. And we got things done pretty quick. I was extremely proud of that. There are several other events going on this month. Miss Jamie, can they not go to the web page to get all those events instead of me having to read them off up here, or would you rather me go ahead and mention them?
You can go ahead and mention them right now because it's not updated.
July the 13th, Dinner Club, Cahoot Night.
What is that?
That is it's at the Country Highway Museum. It starts at 7 o'clock, whatever Cahoot is, we're having a Cahoot night.
Karaoke, I think.
All right, and,
Misspelled it.
I don't know. July the 14th, we've got open mic night at the SIP at 7, and that is also National Jeep Day. Miss Jamie, am I correct when I say that?
Yes.
July the 20th, we got Awaken at Johnson Central High School from 4 to 11. Beauty and the Beast Junior at the Mountain Home Place. July the 21st, we got Paintsville Cruise In, Beauty and the Beast Junior. Summer Jammin', Stafford House. Movie night is Top Gun at the SIP Theater. July the 27th, we got Beauty and the Beast Junior at Mountain Home Place. And Waylon Nelson concert at the SIP at 7. And July the 28th, we've got Picnic on Paint from 7 to 10. And Beauty and the Beast Junior at the Mountain Home Place. Now, Josh Johnson, your tourism director, has been working on a deal with Adam Priest to possibly have music in downtown Paintsville, even throughout the day. Am I correct when I say that? He wanted me to mention that tonight. I don't know if that music's going to start tomorrow.
I mean, every day?
Yeah.
Just, I mean, where will he be and where, what
It's just
time?
going to be echoing throughout the city. It's just going to be music playing all day, I think now.
It's going to be 24/7, from my understanding.
24/7 music. Now, we'll try that, see how that works. We may have to, we may have to drop back. Miss Jamie, is there anything that you can think of that I've forgotten?
That was what he was talking about.
Okay, but the rest of the announcements are pretty well. Okay, let's have approval of minutes from the regular meeting June 11, 2018, special call meeting June 26, 2018.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Approval of reports.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Approval to pay the bills as presented.
Move.
Second, yeah.
All in favor? Opposed? Now, before we get to business, let's go ahead and take care of a couple of things here. We've got a couple of organizations that are asking for a little more money from the budget, and that, of course, that would mean we would have to amend it. We have Lisa with the animal shelter. You want to lead us off?
Not really, but okay.
Okay.
I just did this, it's like a snapshot, okay? Quick as I could. Just to give you guys an idea. Honestly, it takes about $98,000 to run a shelter and to run it well.
Is that a year?
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes, ma'am.
98,000.
Yep. We currently get $21,000 from the county and $6,000 a year from DC. So $21,000 county, 6 city. So the remainder of that is made up from donations.
About 70,000 then.
Oh, yeah.
Around there, it's made up of.
And that is a lot. And a lot of people be like, okay, well, how do you survive this far? Well, let me give you, if you got a minute, a little bit of background. When we started the shelter, which we just came up on our 3rd year anniversary, we started after 5 years of donations with $40,000. Okay? So we had that cushion. That helped us get through. And then we had significant donation the next 2 years from a gentleman that passed away. He bequeathed us some money. That's how we were able to make it. So we just need your help. I have some numbers, if you want me to tell you some numbers about the animals we've been able to help, maybe. We'll start, let me go back. Currently, we have 54 dogs and 82 cats at the shelter. Okay, it's a lot. We are as close to no kill as you can get. I have a dog that's been there almost 2 years and a cat that's been there almost 2 years. Okay? The only reason, I mean straight up, the only reason that we would ever euthanize an animal is if a vet tells us to and tells us that is in the best interest of that animal. Or if a dog is super aggressive towards people. There's just, you can't adopt those out, it's a liability.
So cats don't get super aggressive?
You know what, they do. But luckily, cats, we spay and neuter, rabies, and you can put them out. And cats are and we tip their ears. So cats are much easier out on their own. So, and we have people that take them as barn cats. So feral cats, we don't put those to sleep. What else? Okay. 2016, we had 826 animals go through the shelter. 2017, 742. Year to date, we have 332 cats and dogs that have went through the shelter. 80% of our animals from Paintsville and Johnson County do go to rescue. They go up north. Almost all of the rescues we work with are foster-based. So when a rescue chooses an animal, sees it on Facebook, they find a foster home for it, and then it goes. So, and local adoptions, I understand because whenever, anywhere I go, I say, would you like a cat or a dog? But we have such good people in our community that they've already rescued 2, 3 animals. So, you know, spay and neuter is the only way. But in the meantime, until that takes effect, you know, there's efforts to get spay and neuter, get people educated about that. Until that happens, we need a place to take care of our babies. We've had numerous court cases, so that's a big advantage. We had 5 dogs come in. An elderly lady was not able to take care of them. We held them for 8 months. She passed. So 8 months of medical care, day-to-day care, staffing, you know, that adds up when we don't recoup any of that money. What else? We do have to have staff, and you'll see that on there. A model, we have a neighboring county that is using a model that is completely volunteer-based, and it's not working. It's working miserably. Because especially when you have 54 dogs, 82 cats, you have to have somebody up there to take care of them. You know, you just have to.
Who is the neighboring county? Can you say
Martin.
Martin, okay.
So volunteers aren't always
And you can't, and we partner with,
reliable, they're not always reliable.
right, I mean, and we love the ones we get. We don't get many, I'll be straight up. We work with Doug Saylor, sends us some. The SNAP program sends us some. But you can't really schedule them to work. They're kind of hit and miss. So, yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
About, I don't know if you know this or not, because I know it depends on how many animals you have at a time, but what's an average of how much dog food and cat food and litter and that you have to use a day, on a daily basis?
I can figure that out for you and get back to you.
Okay, I mean, that'd be nice to tell
Definitely.
people, because someone might want to say, well, I'll do
Yeah.
2 days this week, or I'll do, and that'll help.
Right, and we've been very fortunate because we utilize food banks as far as getting food, and then we also have had people donate food. A lot of people donate those supplies. We just had Food City did a fundraiser and donated over $500 worth of items, food, litter. CAP donated items that we needed. So, and that's why I'm asking for your help. Supply-wise, we're usually pretty set. Medications are a big cost. Whenever a cat or a dog comes into the shelter, they get their first shot, first vaccine. They get dewormer, and they get flea treatment. So that's a cost, $3.33 per shot. So,
Right, that's a,
yeah. And I do want to, we cut corners every which way.
Sure you do.
If you'll look on March and April, I had my dog manager and my cat manager quit. And actually that was advantageous because it saved me money. I know. Well, and our population was down. It depends on our population as far as payroll. Because our population was down and I didn't need a cat manager, I could kind of do with what I had. And as far as dog manager, we volunteered on weekends. Me and one of my board members. So.
How much money are we looking at that additionally that you need for right now?
I'm requesting $200 in addition to the $500 that you already, $200 per month.
So you're looking at.
2,400.
Yeah, if we give you $6,000 a year, you're looking for us to give $8,400.
Lisa, we just finished our budget.
Yes.
And I know that you were trying to get on board to figure all that out.
Yeah.
Can you give us time to look at the numbers on this?
Oh, gosh.
And hopefully it won't be very much longer
Certainly.
about our budget, because we just did
Yeah.
do the second reading. I wasn't here, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
But can you give us just a little bit of time for us to look over
Oh,
and
yeah.
decide?
Yeah.
Is
And
that
then
all right with
And
you?
give us
That's
the money of the cat food and.
Yeah.
if you want.
I mean, I know you need it right away, and I just wanted, there's a couple of things I've been behind on that I need to look at, and I haven't talked to them, other people about suggestions I'd like to make too, so.
If you wanted to take down my email individually, if
I've
anyone
got
has
it.
any questions,
I've got it.
does anyone need it?
Yeah.
Feel free to shoot me an email. WOW, W-O-W, animal shelter, @gmail.com. So, and I invite everybody to come out to the shelter.
You say
Anytime
Gmail?
want.
I should be there, but it breaks my heart.
My neighbor's actually a rescue person, she transports them,
Good job.
So do we need to table this? Is that what needs
Yes,
to
we'll
be done?
And
kind
again,
of
I
table
apologize.
it until we can all take a look at it and see
Yes.
what we can come up with.
And
If I'd known ahead about, I would have tried to, but I just didn't know about it, and I think we need to look. I haven't looked at
No,
the
it's already
budget again,
And
so.
again, I apologize for not
That's,
getting this.
no, you
It's
tried, I know you
budget.
tried, I know you
I
did.
tried.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
all
do
right.
appreciate your time.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you did.
Yes, thank you for the job you do.
Who do we have for Main Street? Miss Jill?
Yeah.
Come on up, come on down.
Do I have to come up?
Well, yeah, come on
Come on,
up here.
listen.
We want some help, do you?
Ronnie can't get you on camera, Jill, you have.
Oh, yeah.
I'll break the camera.
No, you don't.
I'm Jill, and this is Lisa. We're on the Paintsville Main Street Board, and we're here asking for $1,000 more on the money. As y'all notice, around town, we have filled the planters, and we have worked our butts off trying to do it. We're all volunteers. Did y'all get this paper? The states.
Yes, I
Yes.
think it's on the back.
Okay, this is our expenses. We have an outstanding balance right now of $258. The Bonnie's pay is how much a month?
It's $518.40 every 2 weeks.
every 2 weeks.
How
Plus
much?
we pay her,
$518.
518.
plus she's still working part-time from her home. She keeps in contact with the state. Spring Fling, we brought in quite a bit of money for the expenses. I mean, we hired the sound system, it was $450. We're asking for $1,000 more a month. We get $1,250 right now, $1,250 right now. We're asking for $1,000 more.
Which is just for temporary until we can get back on our feet.
We're all in a learning process right now
Okay.
because all of us are basically.
Well, let me add, but you may be in a learning process, but you're doing an excellent job.
You still are, you sure are.
Yeah. We've worked hard and we've had volunteers come and help us and work really
I
hard.
saw you down on Main Street, I think it was last week.
Yeah. We're really trying to beautify our
Right, you're
little
doing a
town.
good job.
Yeah.
From March to this point, we right now have approximately 600 volunteer hours between, our members. And those are actually worth $28 per hour as a tax credit. I mean, we've got surely close to over $35,000 in
So
tax credit that we.
what you're saying is that it's $28 an hour, so when you apply for a grant,
Yes.
Yeah.
This-
that will
this
add
helps
to
with
the
these grants.
possibility of
Yes.
getting that grant money,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're asking for $1,000 more dollars.
So that's 12,000.
Right. And we are the host of the 2019 National Main Street Convention.
Come here.
It's
Yeah,
coming to
I know where it
Paintsville.
is.
Yeah. And we're trying to get prepared grid.
So when will that be in 2019?
It will be probably the last week of September. There's still some particulars that we have to go over because we have Apple Day coming up, so we're trying to figure out exactly when we want to schedule that.
You know, the motels and stuff will probably, if it's that week, the motels and stuff will be booked up, so we've got to try to book
Work
around.
around it.
Right. But everyone will benefit from that, the hotels.
So you're wanting some help just to get, till you can get back on your feet? in
Exactly,
other words.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I think this is just about like that. We're gonna have to look at the budget, because I know we'll have to, you'd have to make an amendment to the budget, wouldn't
And
you?
we had to crunch some numbers,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
we'll have to crunch some numbers somehow and make an amendment to the budget.
And we'll,
Okay.
and we'll get back to you just as soon as we can.
We appreciate the consideration.
Yeah.
Thank you, Earl.
That's what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to business. Mr. Pack, miscellaneous water system improvements.
We have identified several deficiencies in our system we need to correct. What we're asking for now is actually authorization to apply for a $2.01 million loan through KIA. KIA has issued 75 applications for invitations statewide. Ours is ranked number 9 out of the 75, so they consider it a very important project. The largest part of that would be construction of a new tank and pump station in the Starfire Field area, correcting pressure deficiencies. I said this is just the first part of the process, and when we get more details, we actually will come back and ask for permission to take the loan. There's some details have to work out in terms of interest rates and term. Expected will be a 20-year loan and no more than 2% interest.
Now, okay, you know I'm gonna ask you
I
this.
suspect I do.
This was not gonna raise rates?
We believe we can do this without raising rates.
You know I
And that's very important.
Yes, I just don't wanna make
Now,
sure.
you believe you can do it without raising rates, or you know you can do it without raising rates?
It's pretty confident.
Good.
Well, give me a percentage of the contract. 99?
I'm gonna say 95.
Okay.
And this is strictly for like a new water tower and a new water,
It says miscellaneous.
There's several items in there.
what do you think it is? What do you think you'll be doing with that?
The biggest thing would be the water tank and pump station Starfire area.
And that would improve water flow for over in that area or all over?
Starfire Hill, up through Hager Hill.
Because
But- and
part
that-
of the county.
The deficiencies we have in Hager Hill were created when they moved the water plant. With the old plant being over the river, it had a constant pump pressure feeding. We lost about 10 pounds of pressure. And for some people, that's pretty significant. It's now just supplied by the Concord tank, pushing water that way.
All right.
What do you need from us today?
Just
Approval
your approval to apply.
To apply for the
You
loan.
need it in a motion.
Yeah, we have to have a motion.
I'll make a motion to be approved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Beck. All right, I'll open it up to council. Does council have anything?
No, we was talking about earlier, but I knew you probably meant to mention it, but it's not because Tim here, but AEP done a great job. You know, we was out for power, what, 24 hours maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Not hardly that,
On
really.
the south side, but let me tell you something, it looked like a bomb hit. I don't know if you got to go up there, but it was hit bad, it really was.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought everybody moved.
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
Did
I'm gonna commend, when I got downtown, you know, the first responders and the guys that work for the city, it was amazing how they had taken control of the situation. You know, had barricades out, trying to protect the public. Of course, you know, when something like that happens, you know, people want to get out and look, and that's just human nature. But, you know, our firefighters and our people in maintenance, man, they were right on it, and they did a great job.
Yes, they did.
Well, your county government pitched in quite a bit
Yes,
too.
they do.
Yeah.
They did.
You know, and, you know, as far as the power company, you know, those guys, they did a great job. But, you know, after a while, their focus was, to be quite honest with you, to get the hospital back on.
Mhm.
And, you know, they were able to do that. And
Did they not have a generator, or, I know I called the.
I don't know.
I called Daryl down from Oakdale.
I'm sure
And
they
they
got,
didn't have any power until,
I'm
but
sure
they
they-
got it back at 1, and that
yeah,
was great for
that's when they
them.
got to hospital. That's a
Okay.
different circuit. You have two circuits that kind of feed town. You have the city circuit and the plaza circuit, and it's just, they're like spaghetti down there. They do this and that, you know, instead of getting technical. But, you know, the employees and the firefighters and first responders, just outstanding job.
Well, the only person
And
that
a
gets
tough
a
situation.
a
That's
black eye is suddenly,
Yeah.
and I'm going to foothills, I'm bundled, and when you're bundled, you're handicapped, not that I'm not already that way.
But we appreciate the patience of the public and,
Yeah, they
you
do
know,
a
the
great
citizens of the city.
Sure did, proud of them.
Is there anything else from council?
Sorry for being late, Mayor. Time slipped.
I think you're fine.
My
You didn't miss
granddaughter's.
nothing.
Anything open to the floor? Anybody on the floor got anything they need to say?
Can I ask one quick question?
Uh-huh.
It's a two-part question. It's when Lisa said a while ago, you said you get some volunteers from Sailor,
Doug Saylor?
Doug Sailor, yeah.
There-
Are they inmates?
Oh, no. The liability, we can do that.
Oh, well, inmates are farmed out all the time. I think that'd be a really good thing if
Well, you know,
somehow.
that's not happening right now, so let's go on.
They had one more.
Okay.
And honestly,
Mayor, I couldn't even see your mouth move.
Ronnie, part of that
Be
reason is
quiet,
I would have to be with them all the time, or I go to
Yeah,
bed,
I'm glad
go,
you did.
it's just not feasible.
I thought it was a good idea.
No, it's-
Anything else from the floor?
Mayor, I'm sorry to bother you. Were we on the agenda for this evening?
Was I supposed to put you on there?
I spoke to you.
Can we go ahead and
You're
get
open
the regular meeting?
Yeah,
He's
go
from the
ahead.
floor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mayor.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll come up and introduce myself.
As a matter of fact, that's my fault.
No, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it is, too.
I should have followed up with you. I apologize. Members of the city council, my name is Jared Crum. I'm an attorney with the Kirk Law Firm. I am a part of the litigation group spearheaded by Mr. Mark Bryant, who is a mass tort lawyer out of Paducah, Kentucky. We are representing several communities, city governmental entities, county governmental entities in Kentucky, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, maybe Alabama, and we are suing large pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, and we're suing them over the opioid epidemic. I will turn it over to Mr. Bryant. He is much better at the substance than myself, but Mayor, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mark Bryant. I'm a plain old country lawyer out of Paducah. But before I get started, I'm supposed to tell you, sir, hello,
and also you, Mayor, from a friend, a mutual friend of ours, who has the good fortune of marrying well and living in Reba McIntyre's home in Nashville, Tennessee, and that is Betty Ann Mayo. And she is a dear friend of mine and my wife's.
Well,
Her
that's-
husband, too. Her husband and I roomed together in college, and he's the godfather of our children, and so anyhow,
That's great.
That's great, she's a great,
Tell her we
she's
said
a
that
great,
one.
I will, and anyhow, but let me tell you, we have in excess of 40 communities now that we represent, from Paducah to McCracken County to Ballard County, down to Clarksville, Tennessee, and all through Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. What we're doing is filing lawsuits against Big Pharma and also against the distributors for opioid abuse and opioid misuse. And a good example, you all probably read about this in the paper, but in Paintsville, there's a little town over there that has maybe 250 people in it, and they had like 2 million pills coming into that community. And so I think it's Williamstown is the name of it. And so anyhow, there are lots of communities that have problems. And so the CDC, the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, has figured out that any community that has 100 or more prescriptions per 1,000 people per person is in trouble. It's got an opioid problem. I noticed that your community, the exact number is, you've got 282 prescriptions per 100, and the national average is 80 prescriptions per 100. So you all are 3.5 times the national average in your community. And so there's a lot of litigation going on. The Kentucky Association of Counties has had some litigation. Various counties are represented in this case, and we're representing a lot of communities, a lot of hospitals, in an effort to get you reimbursed for the taxpayer money that you have spent. So when you look at it, Mayor and Commissioners, it's the money the tax money that comes into your coffers that you're having to turn around and spend. It's not the money that comes in from the federal government, not the money that comes in from the state government, but it's your tax base. It's paying you all taxes, and then you're having to turn around and spend it on additional law enforcement or on additional fire. When the firemen go to the scene and they've got problems, and first responders, there are any number of reasons. Like, for example, we heard earlier about a little community in eastern Kentucky that had to pay $40,000 for a helicopter ride for somebody that was a dopehead, and they were abusing opioid drugs and they had to go to a hospital, and so the community ended up having to pay it because nobody had the insurance and wasn't money for it. So those are instances. Another community had 2 policemen that they had to hire just to take care of the opioid problem, arresting people, and they said 90%. So 90% of those 2 officers went for the expenses of law enforcement. So what we're trying to do is to recover that. And let me tell you where it's happening. The multi-district litigation is occurring in Cleveland, Ohio. A federal judge was appointed there's a group of multi-district litigations where people go and ask if their case could go to a particular place, and then these federal judges make the decision as to where it's to go. So they decided this federal judge in Cleveland, Ohio, has to handle the case. He's been handling it, and well, we have conference calls every 2 weeks where we discuss the case. They give us questionnaires that have to be answered. For example, what kind of damages have you had? How much money have you spent on opioid issues out of your own coffers? So all those things, I've got them in here. I've got the information about my law firm, and even though we're in Paducah, we have 7 lawyers, and nobody has bar association problems. We're an AV rated law firm, which is a high rating, and and just as an aside, I am the vice chair of the University of Kentucky Board of Trustees, which I really do like that, and I'm also no Republican. And that was a joke. And anyhow, but I just wanted to tell you that we represent all these communities on a contingency fee, and the contingency fee means that it doesn't cost you anything unless we win. We make all the payments up front, and so each filing fee in this litigation is $350 to file it. We spend all of our time, and if we lose the case, you've lost nothing. If we win the case, our fee is 1/3. But I have to tell you, we handle a lot of cases in federal court, mass tort cases, And we just ended up handling a case over in Huntington, Virginia, that just settled a few weeks ago against CSX for a train derailment with big explosions back in January 2015. We had about 1,000 clients over there, and we handled that and just completed it. And so we do an awful lot of this, and I can tell you that our contract with you would be for 1/3, but routinely federal judges in mass torts set the fee, and it would not be greater than 1/3, but my opinion is it would be less than 1/3. I just don't know how much it is, but it is whatever the federal judge decides it is. I also know, because I have friends that are connected with the plaintiff steering committee, that the federal judge is going to require that 3 cases be tried next March in Cleveland to get an idea of what amount of money should be paid for various things and what a jury thinks. And after that, the judge is going to set down mediation and require all the parties to mediate. He's already said he wants the case settled. And one of my friends who is on the plaintiff steering committee, there's 3 plaintiff's lawyers, 3 defense lawyers, and my friend told me that he really believes that this case will settle for far more than what the tobacco litigation settled for, and that settled for billions of dollars. Sadly, the state of Kentucky we didn't enter into that litigation back in the 1990s, and so we didn't get the money from it. And that's the same thing here. If you don't enter into a contract, it's kind of like that lottery ad we've all seen, if you don't play, it don't pay. Well, that's how this works. If you don't get involved, the state government is not going to pay you. The federal government is not going to pay you. The county is not going to pay you when they've entered into the same litigation. But if you get it, in other words, if the case is won, we figure out what the damages are for your community, and we're able to get that money back to you, that'll be money that will go into your coffers. And I know from what I've read that Eastern Kentucky has a terrible opioid problem, and your community is one of the top problems in the state. And so I offer my services to you, and I'd like to represent you. I was Commonwealth Attorney in McCracken County for 17 years, so I know a lot about dealing with those people and sending them off to prison. But now what we're trying to do is get money back into the system in an effort to help communities, because the communities are going broke paying for this stuff. And another area that really a lot of people haven't looked into, and we'll talk about it, a lot of people are dying from abuse of opioids. And that's money that you can get back to, any kind of money that you had to expend, whether it's sending somebody to pick up some person in an ambulance, take them to the hospital, and they subsequently die. And I just found out in the state of Mississippi that the coroners in Mississippi had put down the wrong number of infants who had died from opioid abuse, and there were 400 more deaths by infants from opioid abuse than showed on their records. So, going to the coroner can give you a lot of information. Anyhow, Mayor, I have the information on here. I have information about my law firm and the people that we deal with and our backgrounds, and the questionnaire that we would ask if you'd like for us to represent you. We do need the questionnaire filled out by a clerk or a treasurer or whoever does that. In all likelihood, the case is so huge. I mean, there's so many thousands of governments that are plaintiffs in these cases that I don't know that they will depose every one of them, though they could, because they've got a right to depose, for example, the mayor, and find out. The person that knows the most about opioid problems in this community could be the chief of police, it could be your clerk, the bookkeeper. I don't know who it will be, but anyhow, I do have great optimism that this case is going to turn into a significant income stream. The plan is not to bankrupt these pharmaceutical companies or the transporters of drugs, but it is to make them pay over a period of years, just like they did in tobacco litigation. And so that way there'll be a stream of income that will come in for some time based upon how much how much money you paid out for the problem. Anybody got any questions?
How would that work? Like, we wouldn't pay you anything unless something happened, correct?
Yes. And so, you don't owe us a dime. We'll pay for it, we'll work it, and then I believe we'll win the case. I wouldn't be over here, but when we win the case, we would take our expenses out, take our fee out, and the main road would go to you.
Well, I do know, that the county is the one that, we don't have anything to do with paying the jail or
Right.
anything like that. Our county is the one that has to
Yes.
take people to the hospital and has to bring them in if they're on drugs or
Yeah, but
whatever.
If you all own your fire department, I mean, they're spending a lot of time and a lot of money as first responders on people like this. If, for example, you bought Narcan, for people who get on opioids and pass out and you bring them back, a Paducah recently spent $30,000 on Narcan. And so that's a claim that we're making to be reimbursed from the pharmaceutical companies, for their causing the problem in the first place, so. Okay?
I don't know I don't know if we have that big a problem with that, but I can see where
Well, I'll tell
there
you
may
what.
be one in the future, I can see that. but-
Well, here's what we do. I'm gonna leave this with the mayor. You all talk among yourselves. And because I do know that with the population that you have here, and the fact that you've got such a huge opioid problem based upon the Center for Disease Control in
Well, I
Atlanta.
know we do.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it's awful. And I bet you all can come out with, if for example, somebody got hurt by somebody on opioids, one of the city employees, you had to file a claim, would you be entitled to get that money? Yeah, you may have to do some creative thinking and think back. Like, well, a really good example, one community was talking today about how they had so many people move out of an area that nobody's even paying taxes anymore because there's so many people on drugs in that section of town. And so all of a sudden you realize, hey, that's money that we can make a claim for with this litigation. Those are damages. Because there's a lot of people, nobody wants to live in a community in that section of the community where you got people over there that are on constant drugs and they're selling drugs and they're doing meth and shooting people and stuff like that. So they move out and they quit paying taxes. So that's a good example of something that might help you get some money. And like I said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. We're willing to do all we can to help you, and I'd be very proud to be your lawyer. So, Mayor, may I approach?
Yes, you may.
All right, thank you.
You may approach, sir.
Yeah, nice to meet
Thank you. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
thanks for having us here, too. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you.
You too.
Yeah, you're a good treasurer. That's what Jared's doing. Yeah, nice to see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Motion to adjourn?
Now, so moved.
Second.
Favor? Opposed?
You want to stay a little longer, Steve?
I can.
We stand adjourned.
He has stayed in your room, so.